wouldn't think that throwing this into this bin or this bin would make much of a difference, would you? But a lot of the things that we think are rubbish are actually made from materials that can be reused over and over again. Now we're off to the MRF, the Materials Recovery Facility. That's where everything that you throw in the yellow lid bins goes to be sorted and recycled. Every product you use goes through many different stages during its life cycle, starting with extracting raw materials from the earth. Most people know that trees are used to make paper and sand is used to make glass. But did you know that bauxite is mined for aluminium? And plastic bottles are made from oil? All these raw materials are then processed and turned into products that we use. And this process uses even more resources, like electricity and water. In fact, most of these things can be recycled. If I was to put this in this bin, it would end up in landfill. And that's valuable resources lost forever. Alright, so let's see what happens with all this recycling. Look how much recycling there is when everyone does their share. You could say that this is where it all begins again for our used cans, plastic bottles, papers and boxes. It looks a mess now, but all these things are about to be sorted. If recycling one aluminium can saves enough energy to power a television set for 3 hours, how much energy would we save with this lot? There it goes, off to get sorted. Once it gets to the top, workers have to manually sort the material on the primary sort platform. They're hand-picking out the things that shouldn't have gone into the yellow bin. This is called contamination. And our workers have to make sure it's all removed before it goes through the machinery. You wouldn't believe the stuff people throw in the wrong bin. Let's keep going to see why they're being so careful. This is where the interesting stuff starts to happen, where the machinery gets to do its job. These are the disc screens, where the recyclables are split up to go into different areas to be sorted some more. If you have a look here, you can see that two-dimensional items, like paper and cardboard, pass over the screen. If there are any plastic bags, they'll go too. That's why we need to make sure they aren't there in the first place. All the three-dimensional things, like cans and jars, fall through the bottom of the screen. Glass is broken and passes through the screen onto a conveyor belt underneath. After it's sorted, the paper line goes through one last manual check to make sure that there aren't any plastic bags there, and then they're off to be baled. Everything else continues on its sorting journey on the containers line. That conveyor belt is actually magnetic and pulls off all the steel containers. The paper and cardboard gets further sorted from the plastics and aluminium over here at the Optical Sorter. And this is where things get really high-tech. They lost me when they talked about polymer recognition and the spectrometer camera optical management software. But basically what happens is, the aluminium cans are recognised and ejected into the aluminium hopper. The plastics are also cleaned of any paper and cardboard and sent to the plastics bunker. All the paper and cardboard gets to go back and be sorted again to make sure nothing goes to waste. Now that they're all sorted, all this can be made into something more useful again. Things like this ruler and pen come out of this. So remember, it's up to you to make sure what goes around has a chance to come around again. So join the ranks of recycling heroes all over the world with 3 simple steps. So sort it, clean it, crush it, and you too can be a recycling hero. 0 to hero.